Yeah, look, I'm really sorry about it, but I did tell them before training and before the game to put some sunscreen on, so I did the best I could, I swear. Yeah, so the forecast is exactly the same in Poland this week, so if you tell them, I'll tell them we'll try and keep them not showing up home like burnt tomatoes this week, okay? Okay, I think I've got another 5 calls on the line here from other wags, so I'll just sort those out, okay? Cheers, bye. Bloody idiots. Sunscreen, boys, sunscreen.
Looking for trouble and fights, but you found me. Now I'm a screw up, but baby, I'm glad you're someone to rely on, someone to rely on. No, I'm a screw up, but baby, I could be someone to rely on, someone to rely on, someone to rely on.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode number 26 of Husavik Heroes here on Shaun Does FM. I hope you are doing well today. We continue in the Conference League qualifying. We are up to the third round. We are taking on Lechia Gdańsk from Poland over 2 legs. We've also got some more transfers as we have finished up the transfer window here in Iceland. So if you're looking forward to this one, then do remember to go down below, leave a thumbs up on the video. And if you've watched a few of the episodes by now and haven't hit that subscribe button yet, also consider doing that, as well as turning the notification bell on as well. It is greatly appreciated. So yesterday, if you missed that second qualifying round tie against Omanoia, I will leave a link to that above my head in the top right corner. As I said at the end of that episode, I think we got quite lucky drawing a team from a non-playable league, got through that tie pretty comfortably, a bit more money in the bank, which helps us out. And today we take on our toughest opposition yet from the Polish league. They're up there, one of the favourites for that league in Lechia Gdańsk. And we'll see what we can do against these guys. Hafnarfjordur are down below. They take on Malmo. That is going to be very tough for them. And we also have Breidablik in the Champions Path qualifying round at the moment as well. They are taking on a team from Estonia. I'd expect them to get through that. So a couple of teams in the same stage as us, which is nice. Hopefully we can get through alongside one or two of the other ones. Don't have my hopes up there for Hafnarfjordur, but maybe Breidablik can go through alongside us potentially. But as I said, our toughest task yet, if we go back and have a look at the team who we are playing, Lechia Gdańsk. They've only just started their season, so it's a bit hard to get a line on where these guys are in terms of the league season at the moment, but a league that is rated quite a bit higher than ours. We are down in 81st on the competition reputation rankings. They are 33rd, so yeah, going to be tough for us today, and we'll see how we get on against these guys. But we'll start the episode off with the transfers that we have made just to round off the transfer window. And these players are now starting to play some league games as well, so it's becoming a little bit more useful to know these players, I suppose, than it has been the last few episodes. They're actually starting to get some game time in the first team. Just 3 new signings to wrap things up since yesterday's episode. The first one is a new first choice striker, 26 years old, from Portugal, 4-star rated. Wow, Pedro, he looks very good. Good upgrade on what we already had there in the likes of Stefansson and Arnason. He's going to do a good job for us in the league, hopefully for the rest of this season, as the 26-year-old on a squad player role. Going to get a little bit more game time than that, but he comes to us from Paco de Ferreira in Portugal. So that's the first signing that we have made. Hopefully he can bang the goals in for us, much like he did back in the 2019-20 season when he was at Vitória de Guimarães B team. So hopefully he can put out a season much like that one. The other new additions that we have made are to our midfield, both Italians. First up, Lorenzo Gavioli, 3-star current ability, a little bit higher potential. He looks like a decent box-to-box midfield option for us. Another one on an amateur contract, and he has joined us, having previously spent some time at Inter while also on loan and ended up at Regina last season. Has left there on a free, and we have picked him up. Adds a little bit more depth to our midfield, which is useful. As I've been saying, I think that's one of our weakest areas in the squad here at Volsungur, and we have picked up a very good midfielder from Italy to go alongside him, 23 years old, as well as Hans Nicolucci Cavaglia. He is a very good-looking player, 4.5-star potential, 4-star current ability. Can also play on the wings, but we're going to be using him in the midfield. Him and Spaderski, when we get this team to a full first-choice 11, when we don't have to worry about the league and Europe, they will provide 2 very good pivots to our midfield, I think, and he joins us, having spent a lot of time of late at Juventus. That is a good pickup for us, and that wraps up our transfer window. So we now pretty much have 2 entirely different teams for European competition and for the league so we can keep those players fresh when needed, and hopefully that will help us continue in these competitions a little bit longer than we otherwise might have. But we have played one league game since yesterday's episode, and it was against Breidablik. Just the one goal in this game. It was a game that we did dominate stats-wise. It just took us a little while to wear down Breidablik, but at the 77-minute mark, good ball in there from Ledson, another assist next to his name, Nixon Mamaj with a nice header right into the top left corner, and we pick up a 1-0 win. You look at the stats, pretty well deserved, I think it is fair to say, and Breidablik are actually struggling a little bit in the league, so that was a good performance away from home, keeps our good form in the league going. I think it's been a long time now domestically since we have lost a game, and what that means for the league table, we are still on top, still 5 points clear, and still have some games in hand on the teams behind us. Most interestingly, and somewhat concerningly, Breidablik are down in 10th. We do not want to be losing those guys to relegation next season because they're doing a decent job in Europe at the moment for us in terms of the coefficients. So that's a little bit concerning. Hopefully they can get themselves back up there and at least stay up this year, but they're certainly not in the title hunt, which is a little bit surprising, but we're looking quite good at the moment with 9 games left in our season to hopefully be taking home this top division in Iceland, the Islands Dealden, at the first time of asking. But today we have got the Conference League, Lechia, Gdańsk. If we go over to the tactics screen, our squad going into this one, very similar to what we've been using. In fact, I'm pretty sure it's exactly the same as it has been for the last few episodes. So no changes there. Just keep in mind that Mafio is on a yellow card, so if he picks one up in the first leg, Bamba might have to come in for the second leg. So we'll see how that goes. A lot of players on heavy workloads. We did back these players up for that Breidablik game for the most part, so they're probably going to need a rest after that. If we have a quick look, hopefully I've got this set up already for this one. In fact, we don't. I'm going to have to probably put out those players who have just come in on transfer for this upcoming league game in between the games in today's episode, and we'll show you guys the highlights of that at the end of this tie. But we will come back shortly. First up, it is the away leg, very similar conditions to what it was in Cyprus for yesterday's game, and we will see how we get on away at Lechia Gdańsk. Okay, 19 minutes gone here. There have been no highlights so far, but unfortunately Lillemosa has picked up a little bit of a niggly injury. We'll just sort out this glitch with the skin, which is happening a little bit regularly now, but Lillemosa, yeah, he's picked up an orange injury. Don't need to bust out the Mark Richardson just yet, but we'll take him off nice and early just to be safe. And for him, will come on Husavik. So an early enforced change after 20 minutes. Nothing happening apart from that, though. 0-0 at the early stages of the away league. Up to the half-hour mark, it is a free kick here for Lechia Gdańsk in the first highlight of the game. Very quiet so far. 2 shots to none in our favour, but there's a nice ball over the top there for their striker, Cisse, but he is offside there, so that was potentially a little bit soft from us, but we do get away with it, although we do have a highlight shortly off the back of that. Little bit of a scare for us there. Hopefully we do respond well, as we nearly went 1-0 behind, but Lechia Gdańsk are back in position and on the attack again. Another long ball over the top. This one's good. It's a slide tackle from Shaun. It falls to Josef Cisse, and this time the goal will stand. That's a little bit unlucky, maybe. A little bit of payback after yesterday's episode. We got a very similar goal to that in the last goal of that time for Mamaj. This time it is Shaun with the tackle. Falls very kindly for Cisse, and the goalkeeper, Badu, is just caught out a little bit by that, and we go 1-0 down 10 minutes shy of half-time. And that is half-time in the first leg of this third qualifying round in the Conference League. 1-0 down, and it actually feels a little bit harsh. Look at the stats there. It is 2 shots to 6, same amount on target, and they got quite fortunate with the goal that they scored. We've got a few players out there struggling, but I think we're just going to leave them on the pitch for now, as we've already made that one change early in the first half, so we'll just leave them just in case some players do get tired, but not too disappointed with the performance despite the scoreline, 1-0 down at halftime. Early in the second half here, we have a corner. Dordovic puts this in. It is straight at the goalkeeper. It's ended up being an absolute mess around the box there. I think the goalkeeper patted it down, and somehow it's ended up being cleared there from a Lechia player. We do have a corner shortly off the back of that, though, and this time we put it in the back of the net, and it's no more than we deserve based on the stats that we saw at halftime and these early highlights in the second half as well. Dordovic puts it into the mixer. Nice header there from Mikel right into the top right corner, and we are all square 10 minutes into the second half, but we might be forced into some substitutions here. Victor Mafio, yellow card and a red heart. That means he's probably going to miss the next leg of this tie, so Bamba can get into that side to get a little bit of experience and play out the rest of the second half. And I think we'll just leave it at that change for now, but we are back all square in this game 10 minutes into the second half. And not long off the back of that change at right back, we're going to make one at left back now. Leandro Diaz on a 6.2 rating, red heart really struggling out there, so we will bring Paprasicki on for him, our last substitution. Half an hour to go, one all the way from home. And up to the 64-minute mark now, we have another corner. Ledson to take this one. Unfortunately, no one gets their head on the end of it for us, but Shaw is there to tie things up quite nicely. Ledson back in force for Dursky, tries to put that out for Ledson. It's passed back to the goalkeeper from a Lechia Gdańsk player though, but we are back in possession and on the attack here. Dordovic, Bamba puts the ball over the top. Oh, it's a missed header. It falls to Stefansson, and he buries it for his 14th goal of the season. Instant impact from Bamba. A little bit fortunate, I have to say, because they did miss a pretty simple header there and the luck fell our way. It ended up going straight through to Stefansson, trying to play this over. You thought it was going to Dordovic, a little bit too much height on it for their defender. Stefansson's there to bury it. Bottom right corner and away from home against the Polish team. We are 2-1 up with 25 minutes left to play. And not long off the back of that second goal, a good second half here for us at the moment. There is another highlight starting with Lechia Gdańsk in possession. Long ball over the top, but a good header there from Mikel. Both our centre-backs having good games. Nice ball over there for Ledson. A lot of space. Can he tuck it away? You betcha. The Brazilian legend at the club at the moment. He has been so good for us since we bought him in. I think it was the start of last season. Might be even longer than that now, but he has been so good. Dordovic picks out his brother from another mother on the other side of the wing. It's a really nice finish. Good play from us here in the second half, and we are looking quite good at the moment. 3-1 up with 20 minutes left. And we enter the last 5 minutes of this game. We've got the boys just slightly time wasting, but we didn't panic too much at halftime, and I think it's paid off because we were doing pretty well heading into halftime stats-wise, and it has turned into results on the scoreboard in the second half. 3 good goals to Mikel, Stefansson and Ledson, and we come from behind to pick up a massive 3-1 win away from home here against Lechia Gdańsk. I think most of the changes that we did make ended up being good ones. Both the wing-backs that we brought on did perform well. Defensive midfielder, won't rate that one too much, but we were sort of forced into that one injury-wise, but very happy with that after the first leg of this tie, and we will come back shortly with the second leg and see if we can hold on to this advantage and make our way through to the final qualifying round before the group stage of the Conference League. 17 minutes gone here. We have our first highlight. It comes from a corner. Ledson puts this into the mixer. It falls to Sviderski. Dordovic from a long way out, and what a hit that is. And we go 1-0 up nice and early with pretty much the same team that played that first leg. Just the one enforced change. Bamba coming in for a suspended Mafio. But first highlight, and we get a goal on the board to go 4-1 up on aggregate. The goalkeeper just caught our position there from the corner. Dordovic spots it from a long way out, puts it in the back of the net. 4-1 after 20 minutes of the second leg on aggregate. 44 minutes gone. It is yet another corner for us in this game. Mikel gets his head to it, just comes off the top of the crossbar. Goalkeeper was beaten, and it looks like we're going to go into half-time at 1-0 up. A pretty quiet half, dangerous from corners. They've picked up a few yellow cards, so that's something we could exploit a little bit in the second half, but we're doing quite well in this tie. 4-1 up. As long as we don't bottle it, I think we'll be making our way through to that final qualifying round for the next episode, but very happy with how things are going. No changes, and hopefully we don't bowl this and can continue our Conference League journey. 54 minutes gone. We are down the same area where most of the highlights in this game have come from so far, but this time it's a throw-in for the Polish outfit. Cuts in field there. Does Demus get to show off, but luckily for us, it is straight at Badu, and it does remain 1-0 on the day, 4-1 on aggregate, but we have a free kick shortly. Off the back of that, Mikel gets his head to that. Again, goes just over the bar, so an okay chance at either end to start off the second half, and it remains 1-0 on the day, 4-1 on aggregate. And I think it's time for us to make some substitutions here with 27 minutes left to go in this game. We've got a few players down, 2 red hearts. So what we're going to do here is make a triple change. You can see Stefansson has actually picked up a potential thigh injury there, so we'll take him off just to be safe, another orange injury. But as you can see, Lilamosa was able to back up in this game. So hopefully, if we take him off now, it won't be too bad. So the young Arneson can come on for him. In terms of other options, there's a lot of players on red hearts in this team, but we'll bring Balderson on for Bumba. He might need to back up for our league team soon off the back of this game, so we'll make that change. And also Ledson, I think, could use a rest, so we'll bring Paprasicki on for him. A triple change, but we're looking pretty comfortable. 4-1 up with less than half an hour to go in the second leg. 74 minutes gone, and we have yet another corner in this game. Dordovic, this time it's Angeleson who gets his head on the end of that and puts it over the bar. In fact, there's a change I forgot to notice. We've brought him in for Kurt Shaw, who has gone on holiday after last week's game. So that was one change I forgot to bring you guys. But looking good for us, still creating chances. 1-0 up on the day, 4-1 up on aggregate as we start to time waste things a little bit. And yet another corner here. This time Mikel gets his head on the end of that, comes crashing off the upright. So we're dominating this game. It's looking quite similar to how the home legs have turned out in the opening few qualifying rounds of the Conference League so far. Not winning these home games quite as comfortably as we potentially should be, but we get the job done over 2 legs. That first leg win was oh so crucial. Really good second half from us there to come from behind after being 1-0 down at halftime, picking up the 3-1 win in that leg. And then we come home, that early Dordovic goal, good goal off the clearance, and we make it 4-1 on aggregate after both legs, and we will be making our way through to the last qualifying round of the Conference League, and we'll come back shortly and see who we're going to get in that round. So we have made our way through to the last qualifying round for the Conference League. A little bit more cash for the club, that always helps. And very close to the group stage now as well, and that would be a huge payday for the club, as I think that's about £8.5 million. So we have got a big game coming up in the next episode. That could be an absolute game changer for a semi-professional club like ours if we make our way through to the group stage of the Conference League. I think we're pretty much guaranteed to turn professional at the end of this season, maybe sooner, hopefully not sooner, as that could actually make some registration things quite tricky. So I'm hoping that they're going to hold off till the end of the season, but if they hold off till the end of the season and don't force the professionalism on us, I think we'll be doing it at the end of this season anyway, and hopefully now we will have the money to do that, go from semi-pro to pro finally. But looking at the other results for Icelandic teams in this round, unfortunately, as we suspected, Hafnarfjordur have missed out to Malmo. No surprises there. They actually made it quite close, a 1-1 draw in the second leg after they lost the first one 3-2. So they narrowly go out to Malmo. So unfortunately, that's not going to be too good for the coefficient, but they did a good job there. Did Hafnarfjordur to get that far, and Breidablik have got through pretty comfortably with 2-1 wins over the Estonian outfits that they have done. Pretty similar to us so far. They might be struggling in the league, but they're doing a good job in Europe at the moment, and it will be us and Breidablik in the final qualifying round of the Conference League. So that is good, should be helping the coefficient out ever so slightly, and we're pulling our weight at the moment in our first season in Europe as well, which is quite nice. And in terms of who we are going to get in the next round of this Conference League, well, a quick look at that injury to Stefansson, not too bad, only 1 to 3 days, but we have been drawn against Trabzonspor from Turkey. They are currently 6th in the Super League in Turkey. We'll go have a look at that because, as we know, the European competitions have not kicked off for very long. They are expected to finish 4th, so slightly below where Lechia Gdańsk were expected to finish in their league. But if we go back, the Turkish league is a much stronger league, the 15th ranked in Europe. So it's going to be a very tough test for us. Yet again, our toughest test to date so far in this series. But we're looking pretty good at the moment. Pretty comfortable wins for the most part ever since that first round over Bohemian. We've looked pretty comfortable off the back of that, and with those players now getting a bit of a freshen up in the league, as we have pretty much an entirely new squad for the league. Now that I've actually got it programmed in, we can show you guys that. But the European team is getting a rest during the week, and that might help them out as well. There you can see what this team looks like that we're putting out in the league, and you can see it's actually quite a bit stronger looking than the one that we're putting out for Europe. If we go back to that one, a lot higher star ratings, but we can't make too many changes to that European team now because you can only register one new player at each qualifying round, and I imagine that's the same case before the group stages as well. We might be able to make a few more changes if we make our way through to that group stage, but at the moment this team seems to be doing a pretty good job for us, so we'll keep them together, although looks like Leandro Diaz might be in need of a little holiday, so that might mean we might have to call upon someone like Raul Prada, who's only a little bit worse. He might have to step up for the first leg of that Trabzonspor game in the next episode. But speaking of this league team who have just thrown together of our new signings, they did play a game in between those two legs of that Conference League qualifying tie. It was a home game against Lechia, a team who are sort of mid to bottom of the table at the moment, and we got off to a good start. Prada puts the ball over there for João Pedro. He gets his first goal for the club. A lot more to come, and then at just an injury time in the first half, Corbo with a really nice free kick drills that into the top right corner from just outside the box. We go 2-1 up at halftime. Unfortunately, conceded a goal fairly early in the second half, but we did respond well, namely, João Pedro did, albeit at the 70-minute mark. We were given the penalty. That was a bit of a relieving one, which Radovic put away, and then João Pedro really stepped up for the rest of this game. About 4 minutes later, good finish there after taking that somewhat to the right-hand side of the keeper, and then just as we were about to approach injury time, he picked up a hat-trick in his debut. Barkisson makes his way down the left-hand side. Good ball and a good finish there into the top left corner. He picks up a debut hat-trick, and we pick up, in the end, a pretty comfortable 5-1 win, albeit it only really blew out late that game in the last 20 minutes. So that's good, encouraging signs for this new team that we've got rocking up here at Volsungur for the league while we do carry on in European competitions. Hopefully, we now have the depth that we can keep our good league form up, as well as a strong push in Europe, and what that means for the league table at the end of today's episode. If we make our way down, I may as well just click on it up here. We are still 5 points clear, still with a game in hand, but now with only 8 games left in the season. The longer we can keep that gap up and the more that those games remaining do go down, the more likely we are to be winning the title. And it's really now between us and Lechia. It's a 10-point gap back to Vikingur. So I think it's a 2-horse race, and of those 2 horses, we are the strong favourites at the moment. And Breidablik really now in trouble. They're only 1 point outside the relegation zone. Still doing a decent job in Europe, so be interesting. Maybe they need to get knocked out of Europe sooner rather than later for their own good. Otherwise, they might end up in the one deal for next season, and that wouldn't be great because ideally they're a team we'd like to keep around in that top sort of area, somewhat challenging us, just hanging around in those European qualifying slots. Maybe they can do a job in the Icelandic Cup, and that might be how they'll make their way into Europe next season. But a little bit concerned about Breidablik. They've been one of the better teams in Iceland throughout the safe so far, and this season they're having a little bit of a shocker, so that's a little bit concerning for the Build Nation side of this challenge, but we'll see what happens. Obviously, they're just struggling with the squad depth, I think, this year, and we, at the moment, need to just focus on ourselves in our first season here in the top division, and at the moment, we are doing a very good job. But that will do it for today's episode. When we come back next, obviously, it's going to be that last qualifying round for the group stage of the Conference League. It will be against Trabzonspor, both legs, if we can get through that. As I said, big payday for the club, and we will have a few more episodes of Conference League football if we can make our way through to the group stage. Otherwise, after that, I think we just round off the season. That might be all that we do before Christmas. I think it's going to finish in a sort of nice time for us to finish this third season, potentially before I have a little bit of a break for Christmas and we can bounce back at the start of season 4 when I can get fully back into the swing of things off the back of that Christmas break. But obviously, the better we do in Europe, the longer this season is going to go on. I do notice that the Icelandic Cup, we are not entered into it yet. Maybe that's one of these countries where if you are in Europe, you do not get entered into that Icelandic Cup, as we are getting quite late in the season. It doesn't appear as if we are in the Icelandic Cup this time around. So Icelandic Cup might not be a thing for us this season. If we can keep this good form up, might not be a thing for us for quite some time in the save. So that's something to also keep in mind. Doesn't appear like we're going to be making our way into that Mulkabikurin this time around to try and defend our crown. But next time you see me, it will be for that Trabzonspor game. I'll try my best to get another episode out tomorrow, but we'll see what happens. Depends how busy things are at home here over this weekend. I do need to move some stuff around. We've got a fridge arriving on Monday morning, and I need to find some room for that around the garages for our new house. So I've got a little bit of stuff to do tomorrow. So in all likelihood, the next episode is probably going to come out on Monday UK time, Tuesday New Zealand time. But at least we've got this episode in to make up for the missed one during this past week. But if you did enjoy today's episode, a good win over Lechia, Gdańsk over both legs, making our way through to that last qualifying round for the group stage of the Conference League, then do remember to go down below, leave a thumbs up on the video. And if you are enjoying the series and have not done so already, also remember to hit that subscribe button and turn that notification bell on as well. Big game next episode. If we win, that could be a huge payday for the club, as I said, and it would more or less guarantee at the end of the season we would turn professional. But until then, that big game against Trabzonspor. Thank you very much for watching. Keep on keeping on, and I'll see you then. Cheers.